7, where the music is king, and BBC Radio Leicester.
It's 5 to 8. Now, hoping that you're enjoying your half term with the children or grandchildren and taking advantage of things going on in and around the city and county. Well, families and children in St Matthews are certainly enjoying themselves through a project that involves creating a permanent sculpture out of litter. I went along to meet the people involved, including Liga Orlovska, who is from an organisation called Buzzing Roots.
So St Matthew's Big Local approached Buzzing Roots with this idea of the community sculpture, and then we applied for Arts Council of England, and St Matthews supported it as well with their staff and financially, and we now are there at the St Matthews Big Local, working in collaboration with community, with the visual artist, community artist Sean Watson-Taylor, as well as sculpture designer, welder Ross Moore from Moore Fabs. Huge thank you to him for coming on board and supporting this project with welding the recycled materials as bike wheels together. So we're using a lot of recycled material, but again, families here at St Matthew's Big Local helped us to gather. So we did some litter picking sessions, and now we're going to use some of that litter to build this community sculpture.
I'm Barbara Grant Bennett, and I'm the Community Engagement Officer for St Matthew's Big Local. This project fits in with our vision of having an area that is cleaner and greener. It's also about, celebrating talent and creativity. So when we learnt of Liga's great ability, we thought this would be wonderful. During this half term, we felt that it would be great to get parents and children all involved. And we started off with litter picking, which we do a lot on St Matthew's, in looking at a cleaner and greener area, in doing all this litter picking, and to know that the residents are behind it 100%. We get full support from local residents because they do have a lot of pride in their area and want to keep things nice and tidy. So yes, and to know that the rubbish that was collected was all clean, disinfected, bits that we picked out in order to build this sculpture. So that's wonderful.
Well, Sean is responsible. You're responsible for the actual sculpture. So, just describe what we can see on the floor here at the moment and what you're hoping it will look like when it's all done.
Munro Fabs worked together to kind of create the physical welding of it. It was very flash dance. And then our job is we're adding the voice to the sculpture. So the young people, the families, the community are sort of bringing the sculpture to life. It's made out of very, very long metal poles, lots of recycled bicycle wheels, lots of recycled tyres, lights, ribbons, all the things that came from the litter picking as well. We've washed them, and they're going to be creating an element to the sculpture that's sort of celebrating the community, the park, being outdoors, sustainability, and really, celebrating the voice of the community, because they're an amazing community and they're working so hard to create something that's really beautiful, that's going to hopefully stand the test of time, be out there and kind of celebrate nature and the planet and us.
And do we know where this sculpture will live after that?
Yes, it will be erected in the St Matthew's multi-use games area, or MUGA for short.
And I guess, the inclusion of people from the local community, children from the local community, will make it that much more special, Sean.
And we had a great session, the first session yesterday, where all the children sat around and we talked about how does it feel to be outside, how does it feel to be part of a community. And they all shouted very loudly, at the same time, powerful. And I think that's the thing that resonates with us. When you want to see the sculpture, you want these young people to feel powerful, because they are, without sounding a cliche, they are kind of our future. And if children have a sense of empowerment and a sense of worth and a sense of pride of creating something in a local community that celebrates who they are, then I think that's a wonderful legacy to have.
My name is Noor El-Arashi.
And what's your name?
Cass El-Arashi.
Oh, lovely. Look, so tell me about how you've been involved in this project.
So we were involved from the first day this started, which I think was on Friday. And so for the first two sessions, we did litter picking, and then for the rest of the sessions we were doing all this using bike parts and using some of the litter to decorate these bike the bicycle wheels. and we're going to turn them into some sort of sculpture or something like that.
And why was this important to you?
Because if we don't do litter picking, then
the environment will spend stinky.
yeah, and it's not going to be very nice, and no one's going to like coming here.
And animals won't be safe.
Yeah, and like throwing plastic and everything around, and the birds could eat it and they could die, and that's not nice. It's also good that we're reusing some of the rubbish, because if we just collect all the rubbish and then we put it in I'm sure there are at least 1 or 2 parts of that rubbish where we could reuse, like let's say cereal boxes or plastic bottles and everything like that, because I just feel like it's really good, and it's also nice they're making it into an activity, because sometimes when you're cleaning it's not like much of an activity, it's not fun. But when you turn it into an activity on purpose, then people will actually like it and they'll come, and then if you make them love doing it, then they'll always do it, and it's going to be very clean. The environment's going to be very clean.
Wonderful, aren't they? Litter picking, and they're making a sculpture out of it. You can see that sculpture hopefully sometime next week in St Matthews.
On the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker,
Play BBC Radio Leicester.
and on your radio.
The sound of Leicester is
BBC Radio Leicester.